Hello everyone, how are you? Mr. Riley here, hope you're doing okay. This is your Tuesday period 2 lesson, so this will be the 9th of February, 9:40 to 10:40, so hopefully you're doing it in that allotted time. We're going to look at the respiratory system today, so get your exercise books ready, any revision guides or notes, your pen and ruler, and we can make a start, okay? So the title is on the screen now. So write that in your book, and the date is the 9th of February 2021. So hopefully you've written that down. So yeah, today we're going to look at the respiratory system. I'll give you a bit longer to write the title. I've realised how quick I expected you to write it then. So we're going to look at the respiratory system and the lungs. So respiratory system, how the air comes in and out of the body. So there's two main functions of the respiratory system. Number one is to bring oxygen into the body, and we should all know by now how important oxygen is for the body. It helps us function, and it's really important, especially when we're doing exercise. We need oxygen to provide us energy so we can exercise and we can maintain our exercise. And the other really important function, maybe you've guessed it already, have a quick think. If the first one's to bring in oxygen, what might the other one be? Is to get rid of carbon dioxide, so to remove carbon dioxide from the body. So we know when we exercise, we produce carbon dioxide and we have to try and get rid of that, and this is one of the functions of the respiratory system. So two main functions: bring oxygen into the body and get rid of carbon dioxide out of the body. So we're going to look at the makeup of the air that's breathed in and breathed out. So the first thing we'll look at is inhaled air. So that's the air we breathe in. So if you take a deep breath in, that is the air inhaled. That's inhaled air. So you're bringing the air into the body. It's inhaled air. And that's made up of 20% oxygen, around 20%. And 0.4% carbon dioxide. So a lot more oxygen than carbon dioxide, because we're bringing oxygen into the body. We want more oxygen than carbon dioxide. Exhaled air, so we breathed in, and then we breathe out. That's exhaled air, we're breathing out. And if you look at the percentages here, it's only 16% oxygen, so it's a bit less, and it's 4% carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide has gone up 10 times the amount. Okay, so we're getting rid of lots of carbon dioxide. When you exercise, you breathe more often and you take in more air with each breath. So that's how our breathing changes in exercise. And you probably notice that when you do a warm-up, you start to breathe a bit heavier. When you're exercising, you start to breathe much quicker. And you might even feel a bit out of breath where you're breathing really heavily. And that's because you're breathing in more and more oxygen and you're breathing out more and more carbon dioxide. And actually doing more exercise enables you to be able to take in more air with each breath and get rid of more carbon dioxide with each breath. And obviously the more air you take in, the more oxygen you are getting, which means you can exercise more efficiently because you're getting more oxygen to the muscles, so you've got more energy. So you might get a question on this in the exam, and it might be something like a multiple choice question like this. So if we look at this question, which of the following is the correct composition of inhaled air? Now composition just means the makeup of inhaled air. So what's in inhaled air essentially? And you've been given 4 options, so it's multiple choice and you've got to pick the correct one. So I'm going to give you just a moment to have a think and choose your answer. Hopefully you've had a look and you've remembered from the previous slide that the answer would be D. Obviously we said it was around 20%, on here it's 21%, so it's very close. But there's more oxygen breathed in, a lot more than carbon dioxide. So you can see that oxygen is 21%, it's a lot higher. Carbon dioxide is just 0.04%, whereas we know that exhaled air is 4% carbon dioxide. So we know it's not exhaled air, and we know it's 0.04%. And then it's just added a bit on of nitrogen, it's 79%, okay? So we're going to look at something now called tidal volume. And you might be able to work out what this means from the word tidal and volume. So you might be able to work it out, hopefully. So tidal volume is the amount of air breathed in and out during normal breathing. Now normal breathing can be at rest or in exercise. So I'm at rest now, but if I was going for a jog or a cycle ride or playing sport, that's also normal breathing. But we're just exercising instead of resting. So tidal volume is the air breathed in and out during normal breathing. Now, the way I like to remember this is tidal comes from the sea. So tide is when the sea comes in and out. And that's a constant occurrence. So that's something that's happening constantly. So normal breathing happens constantly. We're always breathing. So that's how I remember tidal volume. So the air coming in and out of my body. When we exercise, we need more energy. So the tidal volume increases because the amount of oxygen we need for our working muscles goes up in order to provide this energy. So we start exercising and we need more energy. So we breathe heavier, we breathe in more oxygen, and this creates more energy for our working muscles. Also, we know when we exercise we create CO2, so carbon dioxide, but we don't really want that in the body, we want to get rid of it. So the more we breathe in, the more carbon dioxide we need to get rid of. And this also increases with tidal volume, so breathing out increases. Hopefully that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing. The next thing we're going to look at, I'll leave that question for the end, you can have a go at it at the end, is vital capacity. So we've looked at tidal volume, now this is vital capacity. So vital capacity is the greatest amount of air, so the most air that can be breathed out after the largest possible inhalation. It's a bit of a wordy explanation, but all it means is the most amount of air you can breathe out after the biggest breath in, because we know inhaled air is breathing in. So once I breathed in, and then I breathe out really hard, and that's the air coming out, being breathed out. That's my vital capacity. And the way I remember it is vital is something that's really, really important. So we're breathing out. It's really important to get as much air out of the body as possible. That's how I try to remember it. But you might be able to come up with a different way of remembering it. So vital capacity is the greatest amount of air that can be breathed out after the largest possible inhalation. So after the biggest breath in, the biggest amount of air you can breathe out. That's what vital capacity is. So that's all we're going to look at for today's lesson. I'm going to put some videos in you can have a look at, and then I'm going to set you some questions you can have a go at. So hopefully it'll take you around 40 minutes to have a go, watch this video and have a go at the questions. So yeah, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye guys.